Hey guys, it's Dima from DimusTech, and today I want to give you a short update on the Logitech G910. First of all, before I begin, the keyboard is awesome. I mean, it was really worth the price, I would say. Now, there are a few things that I do not really like on that keyboard, and there are a few mistakes that I said on the previous video. Let's begin with the first and probably biggest mistake and biggest cavity of that keyboard. It does not have an internal memory on the keyboard, which is a huge thumbs down to Logitech. A huge thumbs down. And let me explain what does that mean. If I'll go to a different user, or if I'll connect it to another computer, if I'll just reboot my computer, etc., my profile that I set here on the keyboard lights and on the macros is basically reset. It all depends on the app on your computer, which is pretty okay, I guess. I mean, it works fine. You can configure a lot of stuff there, the macros are pretty awesome, but again, it's not the best. Sadly, you cannot use brightness as the previous keyboard. You have only lights off and lights on. And obviously, as you can see, my lights are a little bit dimmer. I'm not really sure that you can tell. I use now sort of bluish light that is very dark. It looks pretty okay here. On the camera it looks a little bit less appealing, but here it works really well. And I use such a profile that basically when you press a key, let me show you for example, it lights in orange and sort of fades away. So it's a really cool effect that you can sort of press a few buttons and they will fade away after some time. That works obviously via the app. If you close the app, it's gone. Another bad thing about that keyboard. The default lighting profile is sadly the profile that you saw at the beginning of the previous video when I just connected it. That all the colors are sort of flashing kind of fast. It looks really cool at the beginning, but you cannot use a keyboard like that, especially at night. It's really annoying, so you do have to use the app. But there's a good thing there. If you go to the settings of the app, to sort of a template I found online, you can sort of disable all that stupid colors and basically default it to sort of a bluish color. Let me try to show you. If I'll, for example, lock the computer, and I can do it with that. As you can see, I set a button to lock my computer. Let's go for a moment to a different user. And this is now the default colors of the keyboard. Again, if I'll reboot the computer or kill the app or close the app, I would get those annoying colors as before, since the keyboard doesn't have memory. But at least now when I switch between users, I have that option. And actually I think that the app should go here. Yeah, okay, so now the app here works as well on that user. And again, we can see pretty much the same profile. Let me go back to my user again. When I switch users, as you can see, it goes to that sort of light blue, which is okay as well. I kind of like it. Maybe I'll even in the future just default to that and that's it. Now those profiles that you have here, they're not that well. I mean, mostly you use them for colors, for games, etc. and not for different macros. I think you can use them for different macros, but it's not very understandable. And I wouldn't say that I really like it. With all of that said, the typing on this keyboard is really awesome. Seriously, I got a lot, I would say, faster. Obviously, I still sometimes do some mistakes with a few buttons, but I do that regularly. It doesn't mean that it's the keyboard fault or anything. The buttons are really comfortable, the travel of the keys is very good. Well, as you can see, it gets here a little bit of dusty. And that's kinda annoying, but that would be expected, obviously. The keyboard is heavy, yet since I have a mousepad here that goes all the way, it still moves, as you can see. But it moves much less than other keyboards that I had, and that's really good for me. I hate when the keyboard goes there or something. It's really annoying. Now the macros have a lot of configurations, obviously, as I said. It is comfortable to configure, but it's not the best. Now, if you go back to the wheel, I actually found that I do not mistakenly press on it a lot, and I thought I would. So that's kinda good thing. Still, I don't know, sometimes I feel like it could go a little bit better here, but that's pretty fine, I guess. And the weird thing is, only now I can see that there is a mute button here. I actually didn't use it at all, and only now I noticed that. That's kinda stupid. Now, on your media keys, they're probably the most comfortable in this keyboard. I use the next a lot, and this is actually done like this. So basically, if my keyboard is there, under that table sort of, I can still reach out to that and press like this. More importantly, I can play pause with that, and it feels a little bit different. There's like a little caveat here that you can feel with your hand, and that's really comfortable and very useful. Now, as you can guess, this thing called Arc's dock release for a reason. So not only you can put your phone there, they actually have an app that goes with your keyboard. So let me launch the app and show you really quickly what it does and what it has. Sorry if the lighting isn't the best, I adjusted for the keyboard. Now in the app you have kinda cool things. You can actually see your stats of your CPU, GPU and RAM. That's very useful for gamers and less for me probably. You have your games if you have any profiles, I do not. And you have your media keys, and actually those work really well. Seriously, almost no delay at all. The app sometimes is a little bit laggish, but it works. If I remember correctly, yeah, you have your G keys. So you can sort of see all your macros here. And obviously G2, I'll have to cut that out since this is my mail. I write my mail down a lot, and that's what I use it for. Basically it fills it really well. But I think the most coolest part on that app is basically the screen. That's really awesome, I really liked it actually. And it gives you a lot of information, so why not? Yet again, I don't really use that app at all. Now, if I have to sum it up, if you want a very good Logitech keyboard that is very good for typing and probably for gaming if you game a lot, this is a very good keyboard. But if money is not an issue for you and if you don't mind to use some different Cherry MX switches, I would probably choose the Corsair K910, which is probably much better than this. It has internal memory, the layout is pretty much the same, obviously you have less macro keys, but still it's enough, and as far as I've seen, it probably works much better. But again, this keyboard is awesome, I really love it. One thing that I can say that I would love to have is another USB port somewhere here or something, just to connect to my mouse when it needs charging. Nothing really that fancy, nothing too much, you know. And obviously, as I mentioned, I would really love to see the same keyboard with internal memory, because without it, this keyboard isn't the best. Sorry, Logitech. I really love Logitech, but here, it's not the best. Thank you for watching this DimusTech episode. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you won't miss any future video. And I'll see you on the next one.